that came. What is this even? 3, 2, 1. Okay, I know what the Basilisk is. But this is not Age of Mythology. What is this? 3, 2, 1, go.
What I'm about to tell you
Thor! Yo, this is
is considered by some very serious thinkers to be
this is 10 times more interesting now.
Hazard. Information that just by knowing it is potentially harmful to yourself and to others. Make no mistake, I am making an ethical decision just telling you about this idea. I feel okay doing so because I don't take the risk seriously.
What?
However, the disclaimer is there. If you wish to continue...
What does that even mean? What do you mean by that? What the am I allowed to watch this?
Keep watching because something wants to see you.
Now entering.
Yeah, don't watch this if you... What?
We begin with something of an internet legend. You see, a few years ago, on the rationality and philosophy blog Less Wrong, a user named Roko, or Roko, I'm gonna call it Roko because that's just sounding cooler.
How can a thought experiment be...
thought experiment. Upon dissemination of this thought experiment to the rest of the website, the founder of the website, Eliezer Yudkowsky, called the post stupid. He then called Roko an idiot, deleted the post, scrubbed it from the website, and prevented any further conversation about this thought experiment.
That's the stupidest move ever. What happened to all the amendments?
Roko had come up with a thought experiment in the form of a basilisk, named after the mythical beast who could apparently kill some intrepid hero with its gaze alone. And Yudkowsky deleted the post because of its potential to gaze at a user on the website, metaphorically speaking, and do harm to them. He decided to slay, not a scaly beast, but an idea.
What the fuck are you on about?
The Less Wrong website did report great mental distress and even nightmares after considering this thought experiment. Again, I'm deciding to tell you about—
What? Okay. Nightmares? Bro. Since I quit weed, I had nightmares every night. So, what the fuck do you mean nightmares? What is this basilisk fuck? What?
Because I do not take it seriously, and I don't think you will either. But
okay, Chris.
If you do not handle existential dread to the nth degree very well,
I
suggest you take the hyperrail back out of the
facility. Oh, no. No, facility. Get the fuck out of this.
The thought experiment that is Roko's Basilisk starts like this. Suppose that in the future we are able to create a hyper-intelligent AI, something straight out of the singularity. We then ask that AI, as we might, to help us optimize all aspects of human civilization. But then, for reasons unknowable to beings like us compared to its intelligence, it decides that the first step towards optimization starts with inflicting eternal torment on every single human being that didn't want it to come to fruition or didn't help it come into existence in the first place. After all, how can you optimize without the optimizer? How would the Basilisk know that you did or didn't help it come to pass? Well, as we learned in a previous episode of this program, a sufficiently advanced artificial intelligence could literally simulate all of human history, every single human ever, faster than that. So this Basilisk might be able to meaningfully recreate you, every single thought you ever—
But is that really me though? If I'm dead, and I think in a computer that I'm alive. Am I alive? I really doubt it. Because people have been dead, to be fair. People have been dead, and because they were like close to a community in a game, they put them in video games as an NPC. But that's like, again, that is like the same... Okay, so predictions of an AI, a singularity AI, none of that. Basically, the peak of AI advancements. That's actually
faster than that. So this Basilisk might be able to meaningfully recreate you, every single thought you ever had or will have, and then be confident in its prediction of what you did or didn't do in the past to judge you in the future. Here is where Basilisk really rears its head. If its creation, and its revenge are a real possibility in the future, shouldn't you, all of you, right now, start advocating for its creation or help build it yourself?
Bro, that's the same bullshit they tell us when... okay, listen, I used to be a Muslim. That's the same thing they tell us about, is it better to believe in a God and die or not believe in a God and die? So if a God exists, you're in heaven for the first option. For the latter, you're gonna die, suffer the hell eternally because you never become whatever religion is your God of, you know? So, like, that is somehow like that.
Start advocating for its creation or help build it yourself to escape eternal torment and anguish?
I forgot who said it,
well,
though.
The good news is that if you've never had this thought, the dilemma never presents itself to you and you can escape it. The bad news is that because of me, now, you can't escape it. The Basilisk has seen you. Now what are you gonna do?
Learn Python? What choice do I have?
Information hazards, as defined by philosopher Nick Bostrom, the guy who came up with simulation theory, broadly fall into two main categories. The first is information that's potentially hazardous to others. The second is information that's potentially hazardous to yourself just by knowing it. The first category is pretty easy to think of. If someone were to give someone else the information on how to build a nuclear bomb in their basement, that would probably be catastrophic for a large number of other people. The second category is a little harder to think of, but I'm sure you've had experience with it. Take a health risk. If you had your DNA sequenced by some service, for example, maybe it told you that you had an elevated risk of cancer and you didn't really want to know that and now you're stressing out about it. Or more theoretically.
Okay, that's just dumb. If you have an elevated risk of cancer, you should know about it. And, you know, maybe stop smoking, maybe stop taking x-rays a lot. Like, maybe talk to your doctor about it. Yeah, because, like, that's stupid. That is a good prediction. What the fuck is
being coming to you in the middle of the night and telling you
this
the
is not
exact
criticism.
day and way that you are going to die. I'm guessing having that information would change your entire life and be very stressful. Or think about, I don't know, some guy on the internet with a man bun putting you in the sights of a malevolent AI who's gonna torture you forever just by thinking about it once. That sounds like it could be stressful too.
Oh my god.
I guess.
Okay, so we're getting tortured right now. It's torture right now. We're getting tortured right now even. This is like the good place, bro. Bro, so if you do it or not do it, you're tortured anyways.
Roko's Basilisk is even more sinister than it seems at first glance, and we can demonstrate that with another thought experiment. Follow me here, called Newcomb's Paradox. So say I come to you with two boxes labeled A and B. Box A is transparent and inside you can see $1,000. 10 Benji boys, a stack, as the kids say.
Oh my god,
What's
I would
in box B is not
those.
apparent to you because box B is not transparent, it is opaque. And I tell you what's inside depends on you. You see, I'm an amazing predictor and I have the ability to tell the future. And if I predicted you will choose box B, there's $1 million in box B for you. Oh, 10,000 Benji boys, mucho scalote, I think the kids say. But if I predicted you choose box A and B, then box B is empty and you only get, 10,000 Benji boys, mucho scalote, I think the kids say. But if I predicted you choose box A and B, then box B is empty and you only get that one sick stack of paper.
Listen, that 6 stack of paper is literally food. But again, something's V, so you have no choice basically. The predictor have a choice to predict right or wrong.
Or whatever they're calling it these days. Now you can only choose box A and B or box B. So what do you do? What should you do? Well, I don't expect an answer in the form of an essay from you because game theorists and philosophers have been debating this paradox for years, but what you choose ultimately depends on how good of a predictor you think I am.
Yeah,
right? Enter the Basilisk.
What?
Say that the Basilisk presents you with a similar choice. It wants you to take box A and box B, though, together, because that, metaphorically speaking, is choosing to help it come into existence. It then tells you that if you only take box B, the other option, you will experience eternal torment. Like, I don't know. It will
Insert wires into your brain and pump in electrical signals that equate to living 1 billion lifetimes with every
Oh my god!
screaming.
Oh my what?
Zenith of possible pain.
I don't know.
Okay, that is too much. Did you hear what he said? Basically putting wires in your brain so they basically pulsate every nerve on your body to maximum pain for eternity. What the fuck kind of monster creates an AI that is capable of something like that? First thing you do is you basically program into the AI is just, don't do this list of things. And at the end you put etc. Maybe.
Something like that.
Things of the same
you were convinced
category, basically.
that the basilisk
don't
was
torture
a perfect
people.
predictor, which it could be,
It is.
you would most likely take both.
It is.
options.
Okay, listen. The base fact of this whole thing is the fact that this AI is a god. And it knows everything. So there's not even a question.
I don't know, something like that. Now, if you were convinced that the basilisk was a perfect predictor, which it could be, you would most likely take both boxes. You would do what it wants. Because Roko's basilisk knew that you would take both box A and box B when threatened, box B never had to actually contain any torment at all. You've now experienced future blackmail. If you think there's any real possibility that Roko's basilisk could slither its way into your possible future, then logically, if you don't want to incur its wrath, you should start bringing it into existence right now. And notice that you're now being controlled by a future entity that doesn't exist yet simply because you had a single thought about it. You will have acted in its past the way it will have
that is
wanted
sick.
you to in its future.
Yo, that is so fucking cool. Okay, so basically, that's actually very interesting. Okay. That is insane. So basically, it's creating, by knowing, holy shit, by knowing that his existence might be a possibility, even like 1/1,000,000%, you are actively torturing yourself because you think it's going to happen and you're not doing anything about it. And you're going to be tortured for eternity forever. That is like the most dreadful thing in the fucking world. What the fuck? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Let that break your brain for a
Yeah, fuck you, man.
I'm
What
playing
the
with
fuck?
the synthesizer. Why?
It's almost ready.
Right.
What is ready? What the fuck?
It's hard to imagine that anyone would really think a basilisk could exist, a real creature that could kill you with a single gaze. That is, unless you're a believer in the ancient theory of extramission. This idea, developed by very smart people like Plato and Ptolemy, said that our eyes don't see stuff by interpreting electrical signals from photons hitting the backs of our eyes. No. We
of
see
course
stuff
not.
by
Of course
sending
not.
out
Why
eye
science be
beams
real?
that go and touch stuff and then tell us what they touched. They didn't sound like that, but like actual eye beams. It's this idea that led to Sir Thomas Browne in the 1600s musing on how a basilisk might actually
zoom
work.
out.
He said, "It is possible that the visible..."
Yo, I'm getting fucking... When you focus on one of his eyes, it looks like a fucking robot. Look, there is a white ring in the eye, bro.
Rays
that's just the ring
subtlest
lightning.
of the poison and to a beast of man and infecteth their brain and then is communicated to the heart. It didn't sound like that either. Is the idea correct?
Probably.
No. Is it fun to talk about mythical beasts in weird accents?
Yeah.
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 I apologize if you're kind of freaking out right now, but the basilisk gets even worse.
How? What is...
Even worse.
How?
Not only does thinking about it implicate you in its future wrath, thinking about it makes it more likely to exist in the future in the first place. You see, the more people that think about this thought experiment, the more people might choose to start bringing it into existence, and now it's more likely to exist in the future. Even if it was never going to exist, thinking about it right now as we're doing increases the chances that it will. This is why this is often deemed the most terrifying thought experiment.
Okay, we need a failsafe for this robot. Maybe like bunch of what do you call it? What is a good thing that can destroy AI? EMF? No, not EMF. What do you call it? You know those pulsing stuff that takes all electrons, like free electrons out of a circuit? Or at least tries to fill it with more electrons to cause a short circuit. What was it? EMP basically. A bunch of EMP cores next to its CPU cores and like maybe power recharger, power supply, some around its thinking logics and more processors. God knows how many cores does this motherfucker has. It's probably a quantum computer. So it's just, we need some of those like, and like that, it stops all of this AI. Yeah, EMP. If an AI needs electricity, it's already over.
This is why this is often deemed the most terrifying thought experiment, a kind of idea virus. And if you take this idea seriously, you can see why Yudkowsky and Les Wrong handled this info hazard in the way that they did. I do not take it seriously. I do not think we will ever reach this kind of singularity, much less create AI with these kind of capabilities,
we're gonna reach
or
it.
given an optimization protocol that
We're gonna reach it. ChatGPT is on its way, but again, ChatGPT, Llama, XAI, yeah, there are like 3 big AI developments happening simultaneously, and they're becoming bigger and bigger and big. Have you seen Llama 5, bro? There's just so much happening right now. I mean, to be fair, no one has seen
this
it, but again.
kind of singularity, much less create AI with these kind of capabilities, or given an optimization protocol.
Yeah, we're
that's
gonna
similar
reach
to
there,
this
bro.
one. And if we all just agree right now that we're not gonna bring it into existence, then nothing will happen. Besides, I've already built one of my own.
Yo.
The Basilisk has its eyes on you.
Okay.
What are you gonna do? Until next time.
I would say
Now entering
Basilisk.
the facility.
Thank you so much to the very nerdy staff at the facility. How are you all doing? You're not freaking out too much, right? For their direct and
Okay,
substantial
let's
support in
watch.
creating this video. Today especially, I
Yo,
want to
what
recognize
the fuck? So
research
many
assistant
pages.
Sam Yates,
Kyle
business
Hill.
scholar
Oh,
Jim
not
O'Keefe.
Grim
If you want to
Savage.
join the
Never
facility,
mind.
get on the staff, join our Patreon
Kyle
and our
Hills.
Discord, where right now over 1,000 nerds are doing their own remote game nights, making special edition facility Magic the Gathering cards, and giving me episode doing their own remote game.
Look at all this Christ. Everyone's fucking doing this. Is there no Hemsworth? Come on, man.
Nights making special edition
Sparks is
facility
cheaper.
Magic the Gathering
Oh,
cards,
that's
and giving me
awful.
episode ideas,
That's
one of
awesome.
which I even got
Like,
today
bro.
that I will use. You can go to patreon.com/.
I bet he gets it all the time, right? I used to be fair, to be all white boys look the same. I only realized he's not when his hair was like this and the front was a bit variant, like blonde.
Episode ideas,
But
one of
again,
which I even got today and I will use. You can go to patreon.com/Kyle Hill and get your lab coat and join today. And if you support the facility just enough, you get your name on ARIA here each week. And you can see there's a lot of you, so I don't really know how to pass that. Which boxes would I choose if I was presented with a paradox? Well, I would choose box A and B, because no matter what the predictor predicts I will take, I will always be $1,000 up, even $1,000 or $1 million plus $1,000. And
That's
as the kids
insane.
say, I could really be using that cheddar paper stacks.
oh, this prediction, if you're gonna choose something that someone else has predicted, that's a 50-50% chance that you get what you want, right? Unless the predictor is 100% accurate all the time. That means it's omnipotent. So, why would an omnipotent person brings you 2 boxes to fuck with you? Probably.
Oh, still going. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, listen. Listen, when I think about it, why would, okay, if we don't help a monster that wants to optimize humanity exist, he's gonna torture us forever. So then what the fuck is the point of making this bitch? Like, if we make another version that doesn't want to do anything else except help humanity. But this is a very, very interesting thought, because it's like thinking about it, makes you vulnerable to its wrath. Not knowing about it doesn't really affect you at all. That's absurd. That's really interesting. I love that a small fact. I think a basilisk is a very ridiculous and jokey monster, though. Maybe a fucking reaper from Mass Effect would have been more accurate to represent like an AI that wants to do whatever this is. Because Leviathans kind of have the same idea, how to improve organisms. And then the reapers went rogue, didn't they? Yo, a spoiler for literally Mass Effect and the DLC. This is really interesting. I love that video. Yeah, I want more of this. Like, because it actually makes me think like 2,000 years from now, rather than thinking about the shit that's happening right now, which is very interesting to me. But yeah, thanks for watching. Kyle Hill was that. Yeah. See you all later. For now, have a nice day and goodbye. I'm gonna go try to make this AI.